Bomb Girls definitely has been the biggest blessing in my life. It was my last day filming the movie yesterday, and I had planned that I was gonna give a rousing thank you speech, and you know, when you finish on a show, they do a wrap out. You know, you wrap someone out, they're done, and then the whole cast and crew clap. You can see they're clapping like that. And so they did, that's a show wrap. We're gonna show wrap Ellie, Liebert, Betty, blah, blah, blah. And I just I looked around and then I just put my hands over my face and cried like a little baby. And I was like, and then everyone started laughing because, you know, Betty is, and I'm always walking around so tough, and all the guys are like, it's okay, kill it, don't worry. Like, they're just razzing me so hard. I'm like, thank you, thank you. Well, I mean, it's a very unique experience because, you know, when we wrapped season 2, we had such a sense of hope for a season 3, so it wasn't really sad. And doing this movie, although there have been rumors that we may do 2 more movies, but of course nothing's guaranteed. So yeah, yesterday really did feel like the final the final goodbye, and it was really sad. Nick and Michelle, I met them, I guess about 3 years ago. No, more than that, I'd say. When did I do Harper's Island? I met Nick Carella on Harper's Island. We both had recurring roles, and he came into the hair and makeup trailer one day in like a major panic, and he talks even more than I do. We actually have the same birthday. We're like the female and male version of each other. We're so annoying, we cancel each other out. And he was just a mile a minute, and I instantly thought he was an adorable human. And then he had, Nick and Michelle had produced their first feature, Hooked on Speedman, here in Toronto, which a very good friend of mine, Christopher Jacot, also starred with Nick in, and Michelle directed that as well. And so I had heard about these two even before I had met Nick on Harper's Island. I knew that they were, you know, making their own films, and that film did very well, Canadian Comedy Awards, blah, blah, blah. And we just got to be friends, socially, pals, and we were all equally, I would say, frustrated and just wanting to create and not knowing how. And we just kept jamming on it and putting our heads together. And I mean, I can't remember who actually said, like, let's do this, let's make our own company. But eventually some smart person said that, and then we just started getting it together. And, you know, how do you build a company? It evolved kind of slowly, and then now, you know, 2-3 years later, the momentum is just gaining, and it's very, very exciting. I'm in, you know, daily communication with them. They are truly my business partners, and I couldn't be luckier. They are an amazing team. Afterparty is Sociable Film's first feature. It's debuting at it's having its world premiere at the Whistler Film Festival just in 2 weeks. And the story of Afterparty, it centers around a guy named Charlie, who has just been the best man at his brother's wedding, and a group of high school friends have come together, and they're called the Fellas. And my character Tracy was part of the Fellas. You know, she was sort of like the chick that was always around hanging out with those guys, and they haven't seen each other, a lot of them haven't seen each other for years, and so they come back to the bride and groom's house to have essentially an after party, and I was gonna say shit goes down, but I guess it's not really professional to say in an interview. But yes, they push up against each other and, you know, take a look at who they are in ways that only old friends can hold that mirror up, I think. So It was a story that was loosely based on Graham Coffing's life, who plays Charlie, who's our dear friend, and an experience that he had in his own life and then exaggerated, and the entire film was improvised, which is another exciting fact about our film, which was thrilling to do as an actor. And I was gonna say tip my hat, or I don't know, that's really a great, well, whatever a really huge compliment is, that is what I would give to Michelle, our director, because she honestly kept track of the story. So how we did is we had 40 scenes mapped out, so we knew what the story of Afterparty was going to be, but how, you know, the information was communicated in each scene was up to the actors. So it was very exciting. She managed to, I mean, she was sort of editing in her mind as we went along, and we shot chronologically for the most part, so it was also easier on us. I mean, I think, sort of circling back to what we were saying before about just wanting to be in charge of creating and telling stories that interested us in a way, because we're improvising in a way we were responsible for our characters. So every actor, whether they were friends or not, and they were all friends, they were invested in this project because they you know, had to be creative. They had to know these characters inside and out and know how they would speak. And so, you know, it's not like you're just showing up doing a day player part and just gonna look at your lines a few times and roll on in. I mean, no one did that. And I mean, Nick said it before in interviews, and it's really true. Like, sometimes when people would wrap for the day, they would just stay at the house and hang out, and downstairs is where it was a very cool setup. So we shot in the upstairs, and then the main level of this house, and then the basement was our green room. We did wardrobe, we had hair and makeup down there, but then there was also a kitchen. So when you weren't filming upstairs, like, you had an apron on and you were cooking food for 30 people. So it was really such a team effort. So when people would finish shooting, they weren't like, bye guys, thanks, I gotta go do whatever. I mean, this enthusiasm was also how we made this film possible, is because all the actors were co-producers. Part of the agreement that we had with the BC Union was a agreement that the producers and key crew, or the main cast and key crew, would all be co-producers. So it's definitely a way that everyone is invested when they're producers. I'm the most impatient person in the world. I am feisty. You know, I go around like shaking anything I could to see if I could shake an audition out of this person or hustle someone over here. And all of that hustling, I think you have to have one part hustle and one part faith, because I always believed that it would happen for me in a way that's still unfolding, even though I was getting really no confirmation that that belief was happening. I mean, I struggled for a long time. I know it all seems very glamorous right now, but it's literally been, you know, like 10, 15 years of like hardcore hustling. So I think, yeah, you gotta have the hustle and the talent, obviously. Training, I'm always training. I'm still in class. I love teaching. I love working with young people. I love working with actors, because I'm gonna direct one day too. So many things to do. But it's, if you can't think of anything else that you love, then you gotta do it. You just gotta keep going. It's just, you have to be so tenacious and patient and kind on yourself, and inspire yourself, and get together with your friends and create something. I mean, that's what I literally had to create sociable films because I was so frustrated waiting for something to happen because I had like just shaking every tree and it just wasn't happening in a way that was satisfying to me as an artist. So I think that there is always a solution. That's what I think. Don't give up.